make this super simple lasagna. We're just going to brown 1 pound of ground meat on high heat. Sometimes I like to throw in some chopped onions at this point, but I do not have any made and ready in the freezer. And I actually just got a ton on sale, so that's another project I'm going to be working on, is restocking my freezer. And I'm going to just brown this up and I'll show you the other steps. Okay, while the meat's browning, to this bowl we're going to add 1 container, 15 ounce of ricotta cheese. If you're a gardener, you can take these type of containers and cut little strips and make little labels for your plants as well. But anyway, and we need 2 cups. We'll do this first, ricotta, then we'll do mozzarella. I know a lot of people prefer shredding their own cheese, and a lot of times I do, but not today. Sister actually has her first play to do at theater today, so I'm going to try to have this made ahead. That way we can let her eat before, and if we have time we can eat before, and if not, it'll be ready for us after. We're going to add our chopped fresh parsley. This is store-bought. I have the worst time trying to grow parsley here in the South, so if you have tips, please let me know. We're going to add 2 eggs lovingly donated by our beautiful chickens. Okay, so it should be 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan. I did not grate this myself either. Heck, I can't even open it at the moment. So we're gonna put about 1/2 cup. So we need to add our salt and our black pepper. 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. And I will link this recipe below. And if I haven't mentioned, we're going to substitute the noodles today. I'll show you what for. This ginormous eggplant. So we grew this together, so I want to get it used up, and this is the best way I have found that my family will help me use up giant eggplant. The baba ganoush was a hit as well, so I'll probably make another batch of that, which is great. Anytime you can find a healthy dip that your family then eats a ton of vegetables with is a winner in my book. We're just going to get all this incorporated, and our meat is just about done. I think we're going to have all of this thrown together in about 10-15 minutes, and then it's hands off in the oven, which I love. Okay, let's do the meat. Okay, our ground beef is nice and brown. There's all kinds of brown bits at the bottom with lovely flavor. Thankfully, this is a lower fat. You can drain the fat if you like. I picked this brand. I'm not brand loyal. I just look for the one with the least sugar because I have not yet canned my tomatoes for this year. So I'm going to pour that in there, and I'm going to put a little bit of water in my jar. Shake it, get all the lovely delicious things that we paid for in there, and we'll let that warm through. Plus, if you're a Rebel canner, that's one of those little pop top lids, or you can just use it for dehydrated goods. That's perfectly good too if you aren't a Rebel. But any glass jars like that, I like to wash up and save and put whatever I can find in them. I have not canned in them yet, but I am not against it at all. Okay, let's prep our eggplant. We are literally in what I would call Rush City at the moment, because now we are probably going to have to go get sister from school. Last time I did this, I didn't peel the eggplant. I don't find it to be necessary, as these skins are very tender and they're not bitter. But I'm going to just give it a rough peel, and we're just going to throw everything on the floor, which is fine. We'll clean it up in a little bit. And then we are going to turn this eggplant into noodles. Do you have kids who eat what you cook, but also say, "Ooh, I hate that," and then eat it? This is that thing for sister. She says she hates it whenever she knows I'm going to cook it, but then she chows down on it. Always cracks me up. Y'all, this kitchen smells absolutely amazing. I have got some caramelized onions going. I'm going to just cut them maybe between 1/8 of an inch and 1/4 of an inch, or 1/4 and a half, however you prefer. But I want it to cook through, so it's not going to be too thick and not too thin. I know that probably makes all sorts of sense. But for the density of this, I want it to cook thoroughly, just like the noodles would if I was using noodles instead. And this is a pain in the butt this way, but I want y'all to be able to see. But anyway, I have got caramelized onions going over there, and they smell delicious. And I will link the video for that. I believe it will be called 5 Make Ahead Thanksgiving Appetizers. So if you're interested in that, go check it out. Boy, have I got some delicious things set on that menu. And we're just going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, so now we're going to try to quickly throw all of this together. Clean up our mess a little bit. I have the oven preheating at 350 already, if I hadn't said. We are just going to take just a couple of spoons of this sauce and spread it out here on the bottom. Not a whole lot. Usually about 1/2 a cup or so. Just enough to moisten it. And then we're going to start with our eggplant instead of our noodle. You're welcome to use noodle. We have used noodle my whole life. We're not anti-noodle. I'm just anti-waste of things that I grew. So we're going to piece this in here just as good as possible to make a solid layer. Now we're going to put about 1/2 of our cheese mixture. And then we're going to spread. I tell you, this is going to be perfect in the nick of time for us to go get her Okay, now we're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to put quite a bit more sauce this time. Alright, I think we'll stay trying to go that same route. And if you cut them too thin, I have like overlapped them before. Like if this part's pretty thin here, I would put like a thicker one there just to bulk up that section a little bit. And I just have a few pieces left, so I might say throw that one here. I'm okay if they're overlapping. I just don't want waste. And I do not have the time, energy, or bandwidth today to try to do anything with a few bits of leftover eggplant. So whatever I can't fit in here, the chickens will eat. But we will try. We'll just cram it in. I'm okay with that. Okay, now same thing. Put your last of your cheese on. Spread it. Sauce, all the rest of your sauce goes on top. Okay, got that spread out. We're just gonna dump. I think one of my kitchen light bulbs is out. I do have a light up for you guys, which is probably not doing a bit of good at the moment. But we're working with what we have at the moment. So I want to get this to the edges to cover some of those that are on the side too. All of this will meld together in the oven. Now a lot of people do cover with the remaining mozzarella. I'm going to choose to opt out of that because I have another recipe that I would like to use that mozzarella for. And if somebody needs extra cheese, they're just going to get the shaker cheese anyway, which is cheaper, and it allows me to let my better ingredients go further for other recipes. I'm going to cover this with foil, place it in the oven for 45 minutes, and we'll take the foil off and then cook it for another 15 minutes. And you need to resist the urge to put it in your mouth for at least 10 minutes thereafter, because this will become lava. Anyway, I'll show you what it looks like. I'm going to grab sister. Thanks for hanging out with me. And this is what it looks like when it is done. And we are excited to eat because we are about to go out and see sister do her thing. Hey y'all, Editing Jamie here, and I saw I didn't do an outro as I said in the video. I was in a big hurry that day. But thanks for hanging out with us. I hope you enjoy this recipe. This is like the fastest way I've ever made lasagna. My mom made it the same way, minus our substitution for the noodles. And as you've seen, it's easy to throw together, passive time in the oven, and then your family is served a delicious dinner. Anyways, check out my other videos, hit subscribe, like, leave me a comment, all the wonderful things. And until the next one, love you, bye-bye!